Project for ISU 342 Policy and Obstacle to Renewable Energy.
The first part of our paper, of course, is the introduction or statement of the problem. And as we all know, the world is in need of a transition to renewable energies, and we can't keep running ourselves into the ground with non-renewable energies that we are utilizing today. And what we have also noticed is that the effort to transition is constantly impeded upon in this sense. And one of the primary reasons for that we have found is governmental support and pushback, as well as, in a more specific sense, the level of democracy of the nations that are providing this renewable energy policy. And so this leads us to our question: is the level of democracy a strong indication of a state's policy towards renewables?
So for our literature review and theoretical framework, we used the book A New World, The Geopolitics of the Energy Transformation. And in the book, we found why renewables will transform geopolitics. We actually found 4 reasons stated by the book. The first reason would be renewable resources are available in one form or another in most countries. The second reason would be most renewables take the form of flows. And by flows, we mean energy flows do not exhaust themselves and are harder to disrupt compared to fossil fuels that are used as stocks only. Third, renewable energy sources can be deployed at almost any scale and lend themselves better to be decentralized forms of energy production and consumption. And finally, the fourth reason would be renewable resources have nearly zero marginal cost. We also used the book The Power of Renewables, Opportunities and Challenges for China and the United States. In the chapter Renewable Energy Policy in the United States, the main arguments discussed in the United States political debates towards increasing renewable energy is the desire to reduce GHG emissions from the power and transportation sectors. Another main argument used by the United States is the desire to create more jobs through the renewable sector. State governments also encourage the adoption of renewable energy through the implementations of state programs and renewable portfolio standards. An example would be the California Solar Initiative. California governments offered a cash incentive of $2.50 per watt of PV modules installed in a household.
The next part of our paper is the methodology section, and we did not conduct any primary research for this study, and our focus was mainly on research that had already been conducted, as we used the data sets provided by Professor McCall, as well as the ones that she pointed us in the direction of, being the International Renewable Energy Agency data, or IRENA data, and the World Bank data. And we also included multiple papers and texts from other researchers within the field that are trying to tackle the same problem that we are. And what we noticed is the correlation between level of democracy and policy, as well as our findings proved the statistical significance of the effect democracy has on policy by using a simple linear regression with all of the data that we have collected.
So for our results and findings, we found out that policy equals 47.210 plus 1.760 with an R2 of 0.216 and an R2 modified of 0.208. The regression equation we used was found to be statistically significant, indicating that democracy is a statistically significant variable that influences policy. As a result, we may reach the conclusion that policy and the development of renewable energy are connected. For our conclusion and implications, as a result, we can conclude that policy and renewable energy growth are linked, and other factors such as the degree of democracy and the welfare state policy category provide us with a better understanding of how these countries view renewable energy. We also can predict that nations with higher level of democracy will have higher renewable energy policy scores.
And so for our limitations of studies, we ask ourselves, what does our research intend to do? Our research intends to promote democracy. We found that democracy correlates positively with the increase of renewable energy. In other words, the higher the democracy, the higher the increase of renewable energy. There is, however, some certain limitations, such as the promotion of democracy cannot be attempted in developing countries that have historically revolved against the idea of democracy. That is our project. Thank you.